Welcome to Innovation Pulse, your quick, no-nonsense update covering the latest in startups and entrepreneurship news. OpenAI has acquired IO Products Inc. for nearly $6.5 billion to develop AI hardware, and LangChain has raised a new funding round at a $1 billion valuation, solidifying its leadership in the LLM ecosystem. After this, we will dive deep into how competition can be a catalyst for innovation and strategic growth. OpenAI has completed its acquisition of IO Products Inc., a hardware startup co-founded by renowned former Apple designer Jony Ive for nearly $6.5 billion. Despite initial trademark issues with EO, a hearing device startup from Google's Moonshot factory, OpenAI has successfully integrated IO products into its operations. Jony Ive and his firm, Lovrum, will continue to operate independently while taking on significant design and creative roles within OpenAI. This acquisition aims to develop dedicated AI hardware, leveraging the expertise of the IO team to inspire and empower new product innovations. By merging IO products with OpenAI's research, engineering, and product teams based in San Francisco, the company seeks to enhance its capabilities in creating cutting-edge AI hardware solutions. This collaboration promises to blend OpenAI's powerful AI research with Jony Ive's iconic design approach, positioning the company to produce unique and valuable AI-driven hardware products. LangChain, an AI infrastructure startup, is making waves by raising a new round of funding at a valuation of about $1 billion, led by IVP. Founded by Harrison Chase, LangChain started in 2022 as an open-source project and quickly gained traction, securing early investments from Benchmark and Sequoia. Initially, LangChain tackled limitations of large language models, LLMs, by enabling them to access real-time information and perform actions like web searches and API calls. This framework became a hit on GitHub, boasting 111,000 stars. As the LLM ecosystem matured and major players like OpenAI and Google evolved their offerings, LangChain diversified with LangSmith, a closed-source product for monitoring LLM applications. LangSmith has become popular, attracting users such as Klarna and Rippling, and generating an annual recurring revenue between $12 million and $16 million. LangSmith offers free usage with a paid upgrade at $39 per month and custom plans for larger organizations. Despite facing competition from LangFuse and Helicone, LangSmith is a leader in LLM operations, making LangChain's offerings both valuable and unique in this rapidly growing space. And now, pivot our discussion towards the main entrepreneurship topic.
Welcome to Innovation Pulse, where we decode the strategies that actually move the needle in business. I'm Donna, and today I'm joined by Yakov Lasker, who's spent years helping companies navigate competitive landscapes. Yakov, I just read something that completely flipped my understanding of competition on its head.
Oh, you mean the idea that we should actually be grateful for our competitors? Because let me tell you, most founders would rather pretend their competition doesn't exist than figure out how to talk about them intelligently.
Exactly! But here's what blew my mind. There are 5 different cartoon dog shows on TV right now, all about dogs saving the day, and apparently they're all thriving. How does that even work?
That's actually the perfect metaphor for what we're dealing with in the business world. See, when most people hear competition, they think scarcity. They think, there's only room for one of us. But what if I told you that competition is actually proof that you're onto something big?
Okay, walk me through that logic, because my gut reaction is still competition equals threat.
Think about it this way. If you're the only company trying to solve a particular problem, what does that tell you? Either you're a visionary genius who's ahead of everyone else, or maybe, just maybe, there isn't actually a market for what you're building. You're not trying to convince people to buy your monthly subscription box for turtle meat.
Ha, that's oddly specific, but I get it. If competitors exist, it means people are already spending money in that category.
Exactly. The pain is real. There's money flowing, and you just need to redirect that flow of funds. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Your competitors might actually be doing you a massive favor. They're out there spending millions on marketing, educating potential customers about the problem you solve.
So they're breaking down barriers to awareness that you'd otherwise have to tackle yourself.
Right. And I love this real example. At the last company where this CFO worked, players in their ecosystem raised hundreds of millions of dollars to solve a similar problem. They literally incinerated VC money to get the word out there. They couldn't have been louder about the problem.
And meanwhile, his company just sat quietly in the background.
With a marketing budget that could barely buy Yeti mugs as conference giveaways, but they rode their competitors' customer acquisition costs into new accounts. The competitors were breaking down awareness barriers, and this company was there in the consideration set when customers were ready to buy.
That's brilliant positioning. But here's where most companies mess this up. They think the solution is to attack those competitors directly. You know, the classic takedown presentation approach.
Oh, the dreaded competitor rebuttal deck. And the problem with that strategy is you're essentially letting your competitors set the rules of the game. You're playing on their field, by their definitions of what matters.
So before you can even think about talking about competitors, you need to understand where you sit in the market landscape.
Exactly. This is crucial. If you're the incumbent, you speak from a position of strength. You emphasize scale, trust, breadth of services, and customer success stories. You've been to the rodeo. You've got the scars and the receipts, meaning those case studies, to prove it.
But if you're the upstart, that same "we've been here forever" message would sound completely tone deaf.
Right. If you're the new player, you have a different superpower: speed. You move faster, ship faster, and build with today's problems in mind, not legacy assumptions. Your edge is that you're not bogged down by technical debt or 42-person sign-off flows.
So the message matters, but so does who it's coming from. What sounds like confidence for an incumbent can sound like arrogance for a startup.
Exactly, and this framing gives you a consistent voice. Now, once you know your position, the next step is learning to differentiate without demonizing. David Lapter, CFO at Dashlane, nailed this when he said, "You don't have to demonize your competitors to win, but you do have to differentiate."
So instead of 10 bullet points about why they suck, you need just 2 or 3 honest, clear points that resonate with your audience.
Right. And here's the key insight. You're not pitching a feature matrix. You're telling a story. Think about language like, "We're developer first, not CISO first," or "We're product led, not sales heavy," or "We're built for teams of 5 and not 5,000.
I love how specific those are. Each one immediately tells you who the product is for and who it's not for.
Exactly. The key is defining yourself on your terms, not reactively based on what others say you lack. It's okay if your competitors check different boxes. It's not your job to chase them all.
But here's what I'm wondering. What happens when your competitor starts claiming they do everything you do? How do you resist the urge to respond to every single claim?
Oh, this is where discipline becomes everything. Picture this. You look at your competitor's website, and they've got their name, your name, and all these check marks about whether you hit this or that feature. We've all seen those comparison grids.
The classic feature face-off.
Right. But then you scroll further down, and they're getting highly specific. It starts reasonable, saves all your passwords, can expand to teams of 3 to 5. Then it becomes likes dogs more than cats. They're just adding things in. And suddenly you're thinking, wait, I like dogs too. I need to adapt my messaging.
And before you know it, you're chasing their narrative instead of building your own.
Exactly. If you try to go tit for tat, you've acquiesced into competing along the narrative lines they've set. Don't walk into that trap. Just be who you were before. It's okay if you have some overlap, but you don't have to take their view of the competitive landscape and try to come up with some corollary to every single point.
So, how do you stay motivated by competition without getting distracted by it?
One approach I love is what Dashlane does. They have a Slack channel where they share competitor news, but not to panic. It's to stay sharp. It's a gentle reminder that the other guys aren't asleep. They're iterating too.
Like Olympic level competition, you want to line up against the best because it pushes you to be excellent.
Exactly. This creates urgency, not anxiety. It reminds your team that coasting is not a strategy. Someone else is working as we speak to help customers solve the same problem. Someone else is writing the next great cartoon dog show.
But you have to be careful not to turn competitive awareness into whiplash.
Right. You don't need to re-architect your roadmap because someone shipped a shiny new widget last week. Stay focused. Stay honest. Don't let competitive intelligence become competitive paranoia.
This brings up something fascinating about the long term game. In tech, especially, today's competitor could be tomorrow's partner or even acquirer, right?
Absolutely, or co-member of a standards body lobbying Apple to reduce App Store fees. That's why starting from a position of respect isn't just classy, it's strategic. As Lapter points out, you and your competitors probably have more in common than you think. You're solving similar problems. You likely share end users.
So if you've burned bridges by being petty or combative, you've potentially cut yourself off from future opportunities.
Right. And when it comes to influencing giants like Google or Apple, there's strength in numbers. Competitors can be collaborators in shifting market norms. Also, OPEC worked for a reason. Sometimes you need to band together with your so-called competition to create favorable conditions for the entire industry.
But here's what strikes me as the core insight. Ultimately, the best competitive posture isn't really about them at all, is it?
That's exactly right. Ellerin Glazer, CFO at Monday.com, keeps it simple. You don't have to name your competitor. You just have to explain what makes you unique. If your differentiation is real, it'll come through in your product usage, customer growth, and financial metrics.
So instead of spending energy on takedown presentations, you let the user experience do the heavy lifting.
Exactly, because ultimately, customers don't buy because you're not Company X. They buy because you solve their problem in a way that resonates with them. Show your differentiation through product usage, customer growth, and financial metrics. Let the data tell the story.
And this ties back to the fundamental principle. Focus on you, not them.
Right. If you're doing things worth talking about, you won't need to say much about anyone else at all. The best competitive positioning comes from being so clearly excellent at what you do that comparisons become irrelevant.
This completely reframes how to think about competitive positioning. Competition validates market opportunity, competitors can expand category awareness, and the goal isn't to eliminate them, but to carve out your unique position in a way that's honest and strategic.
And remember, whether you're the incumbent emphasizing trust and scale, or the upstart highlighting speed and agility, your voice needs to match your stage. Don't try to be something you're not just because your competitor claims to be everything to everyone.
Next time, you're tempted to create that takedown deck or chase every feature claim your competitor makes. Remember, they might be doing you a favor by educating the market, and they could be your partner in tomorrow's bigger fight.
And focus on being so good at what you do that you don't need to say much about anyone else. Let your customers do the talking for you.
Yakov, thanks for helping us decode the art of competitive positioning. From acknowledging competition as validation to playing the long game with strategic respect. For Innovation Pulse, I'm Donna.
And I'm Yakov. Keep building something worth talking about. That's a wrap for today's podcast. We explored OpenAI's acquisition of IO Products Inc. to innovate AI hardware and discussed how LangChain is leading the LLM ecosystem, alongside insights on leveraging competition strategically. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends and colleagues so they can also stay updated on the latest news and gain powerful insights. Stay tuned for more updates.